family of a woman whose death was at the center of an SIU investigation is now speaking out. Good evening, I'm Ryan Benazzo. Thank you for joining us. The parents of Jenna Osberg are expressing deep disappointment with the findings of the Special Investigations Unit probe. The 21-year-old First Nations woman was found dead by suicide at her boyfriend's home in 2023, 8 hours after Thunder Bay police failed to attend a 911 call from that residence. Jonathan Wilson reports.
Earlier this week, the SIU cleared a Thunder Bay police officer of any criminal charges in connection with the December 2023 death of Jenna Osberg. Police had received a 911 call from a home on Ray Boulevard regarding an unwanted female. A second phone call from the mother of Osberg's boyfriend indicated she had left. The 911 operator forwarded that info to the officer on duty, who agreed to cancel the call and not send any officers. 8 hours later, the boyfriend found Osberg hanging in a bedroom closet. The SIU director's report says the officer could have made the choice to send police anyways due to the history of violence between those two, but looking at the timing of her final text, he doesn't believe Osberg's death could have been prevented. As a result, he says there is no basis for criminal charges against the subject officer in this case, and the file is closed. The Faulkner law firm released a statement from Jenna's parents, Vincent Ostberg and Melanie Beardy. They say, "We have held on, hoping for answers and accountability. The SIU report does not reflect the full person Jenna was. The Thunder Bay Police Service has given us no reason to feel relief, closure, or trust. We have no confidence in their ability to properly investigate deaths or ensure the safety of First Nations people." Vincent Osberg expressed similar frustration at a news conference hosted by the law firm and NAN last year.
We need to end racial bias and systematic racism. I had to do my own investigation because the Thunder Bay Police did not come to us. Nobody reached out to us. Everything we found out was through the media.
Lawyer Julian Faulkner also issued a statement saying Jenna's family remains convinced that had the Thunder Bay Police responded to the first 911 call and followed their policy, Jenna would be alive today. We will continue to support Jenna's family while they consider their options and look to ensure that all parties who potentially had a role in Jenna's death will be held accountable. With the SIU probe concluded, Thunder Bay Police will now begin an administrative review to look at the actions of its members in this case, the policing provided, and procedures as they relate to this incident. The results will then be reported to the Thunder Bay Police Board. Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
Thunder Bay City Council's decision to support the Miles Street location for the planned temporary shelter village could see another close vote on Monday night when the issue comes back for ratification. The contentious debate has been ongoing since last fall, with several locations approved and then voted down by council for various reasons. The site at 114 Miles Street was originally recommended by city staff in November, but lost in an 8-5 vote. That location was then named as the preferred site again last week, and this time it passed by a narrow 6-5 vote on Monday night. However, Mayor Ken Boschkoff and Red River Councillor Michael Zucchino were absent. Boschkoff has now indicated that he will support the Miles Street site when council votes to ratify its decision, but Zucchino has confirmed to TBT that he'll oppose the location. That would lead to a 7-6 decision in favor of Miles Street if no other councillors change their votes. The union leader for postal workers in the Thunder Bay area is hoping his members and others across Canada vote no on Canada Post's final offer. The forced vote begins on Monday with 12 days for 55,000 members to decide.
Do you have a message to voters this coming Monday?
Yeah, vote no. Vote no. And if you're thinking about voting yes, read up on it and learn what they're trying to give us, because a yes vote just kills our jobs.
The vote comes following a month-long strike in November and December that ended without a new contract. Local President Leo Favro says they were disappointed at being forced back to work at that time. He was hoping the dispute would end up in arbitration, but Federal Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu announced last month that she would direct a forced vote on the final offer. Favro says they need a wage increase of 24% over 4 years, but the union reduced its demands to 19%. The Canada Post officer is for about 13%.
There's a few things that Canada Post wants to do that we're afraid of. And I'll be honest, we want job security like everybody else. We want a livable wage, and health and safety is important. All the things that we've been saying all along are still important to us. And to them, there's just been no give on anything. They want the rollbacks. They want to. For us to keep up with inflation, we need the 24%. Anything less than that, and we're falling behind again.
Favro adds that the email voting system is a mess, in his opinion, and he worries many people won't be able to have their say by the time the voting ends on August 1st. Our Kids Count is launching a new licensed childcare program that will create 26 additional spaces in Thunder Bay. The new Early Learning Center program, created in partnership with the Thunder Bay DSAB, will be offered at the Our Kids Count facility on Mackenzie Street. The goal is to help meet the growing demand for accessible, high-quality care for toddlers and preschoolers in the community. Holden Dougal reports.
The new daycare center at Our Kids Count facility on Mackenzie Street only has a handful of children at this point. The center features thoughtfully designed play areas with separate spaces for toddlers and for preschoolers. The children also have access to a secure outdoor play space, giving them the opportunity to enjoy fresh air and active play. In addition to its enriching environment, the program includes an on-site chef who prepares nutritious meals for children throughout the day. This expansion is part of broader growth of the Thunder Bay District's childcare system, which currently includes 50 licensed sites operating by 29 organizations, supporting more than 1,500 children.
We are hearing the need is in the community, and this is one way that we are planning in moving forward in the ability to reach the 196 spaces that the ministry has provided for us through the CWELC program. So the parents are excited. It's a process, so not everyone will attain everything that they want currently, but we are in the process of making bigger plans, and stay tuned for the upcoming year. We should have more plans moving forward on what the DSAB is going to do to help support families in the community.
We recently opened our Early Learning Center here at Our Kids Count at 704 Mackenzie Street. We are really excited to welcome all the new families and children to this program. We have registered early childhood educators. We have a daycare cook, as well as myself, who is the manager of the licensed childcare programs.
The Our Kids Count Early Learning Center reflects a continued commitment to supporting families and expanding access to early learning across the district. OKC officials expect to have all 26 spaces filled by the fall. Holden Dougal, TBT News.
This weekend, the Northwestern Ontario Aviation Heritage Centre will finally host Wings of Time, a homecoming of the Harvards. The event, which celebrates 100 years of the Royal Canadian Air Force, was cancelled last year due to poor weather, so this time around they're excited to finally take flight. The event is titled a homecoming because many of these North American Harvard Mark IVs were built at the Cancar plant in Fort William in the early 1950s. 2 more Harvards were expected to arrive tonight and join this one, which flew from Lethbridge, Alberta for the event. Aviation Heritage Centre volunteer John Hill spoke about what visitors can expect over the weekend.
There will be performances by the Roy Curran Big Band on Saturday between roughly 12 and 1. It'll be approximate depending on flying weather. And then on Sunday, the McGilvery Pipes and the Police Pipe and Drum Bands combined will be doing a parade. There'll be ice cream available. There's going to be vintage cars there. We're going to have a static line where people will be able to see a vintage 1954 helicopter, similar to what was on the television show MASH.
The free event goes from 10 to 5 on both days. It will be held on the ramp outside the Wasaya hangar beside the airport. Organizers are putting together the finishing touches for this weekend's Festival of India and Festival of Colors at Marina Park. The 2 events are among the largest Indian cultural festivals in Canada. The celebrations begin on Saturday afternoon with the Festival of India. One of the main attractions is the Chariot Parade at 3 p.m., representing universal love and brotherhood. After that, the waterfront stage will host an evening of performances until 8 o'clock. The festivities then pick up again on Sunday with the Festival of Colors running from 3 to 7. Both events have grown to attract thousands of attendees since it all began 16 years ago. Organizer Prashant Jani said he could never have guessed how much the festivals would grow over the years.
It's overwhelming and never ever imagined that I will continue for so many years. But the support and love of the community keeps it going. And when we see the smile and joy and happiness on the face of thousands of people here at the festival, it encourages you, it gives you more energy. Actually, Festival of Colors, especially on the Sunday, it's the you can see the happiness in the sky. Actually, everybody is in the mood of joy and love and laughter.
More information about the events can be found on the websites indianfestival.ca and festivalofcolors.ca. All right, well, Fiona, a lot of people hoping that the weather holds out for those events, which attract a lot of people. No pressure at all. Today started out great, but the rain has just moved in the last hour or so, I understand?
Yes, and the majority of the system has stayed south of us. So today it was, we'll say, mostly cloudy for much of the day. We started out with a low of 8, warmed up to 21, and the humidex at times hit around 23, 24. So just enough to get us to the seasonal values under mostly or partly cloudy skies, depending on where you were in the city. But let's take a look at this system. You can see it moving in from the west, traveling just south of the border, and then just in the last few hours starting to move in. So we've had a little bit of rain in the last hour, and there's still a risk of rain for this evening, but we'll get to that in a moment. Across the region, Fort Frances has had a mixed bag of sky conditions. They've had sunshine, they've had cloudy, and at this moment, they're getting a nice sunny break at 18 Celsius, almost their high for the day, so a little bit cooler than they would like to see, but after the heat of the last week or so, probably an enjoyable break. And then everywhere else, mostly cloudy skies. Kenora, also a bit cool at 16, but in the low 20s for a large portion of areas further north. And then along the North Shore, we've got Nipigon at 20, and then Marathon and Wawa, a little bit cooler. That's because we've had west-southwest winds for most of the region, and that means on this portion of the lake, they're getting it off the lake, so it's a little bit cooler there. Everywhere else, it's a nice, warm, relatively dry heat moving through. Sault Ste. Marie, currently at 21 at this time. They topped out with a high of 24 earlier today. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay, I mentioned there's still a risk of showers for the early evening hours, so the next hour or two could be a little bit wet, but then overnight it changes to just about 30% chance of showers with a low of 12. Winds continuing from the southwest, very light, 5 to 10 kilometers per hour, which 30% chance of showers actually bodes pretty well. The odds are in our favor, especially with so many activities. One that you didn't mention was the Tall Ship is going to be back.
Yep.
So they're going to be doing tours on Saturday starting at 3 o'clock for families. So a lot of pressure for Mother Nature to pull this one off. And we'll have more details on what will follow this Saturday, which is another busy Sunday. And give you a hint, you're going to like the weather.
Okay, I like to hear that. As you mentioned, a lot of events around the city, as always in the summertime, and a lot of those rely on a positive forecast.